Hey everyone, I'm back with Exodus chapter 36. It talks about this. It says, Bezalel and Oholiab and every craftsman in whom the Lord has put skill and intelligence to know how to do any work, and their construction of the sanctuary shall work in accordance with all that the Lord has commanded. And Moses called Bezalel and Oholiab and every craftsman in whose mind the Lord has put skill, everyone whose heart stirred him up to come to do the work. And they received from Moses all the contributions the people of Israel had brought for doing the work on the sanctuary. They still kept bringing him freewill offerings every morning, so that all the craftsmen who were doing every sort of task on the sanctuary came each from the task that he was doing. Instead of Moses, the people will bring much more than enough for doing the work the Lord has commanded us to do. So Moses so Moses gave command, and word was proclaimed throughout the camp, let no man or woman do anything more for the contribution for the sanctuary. So the people were restrained from bringing, for the material they had was sufficient to do all the work and more. And all the craftsmen among the workmen made the tabernacle with 10 curtains. They were made of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet yarns, with cherubim or angels skillfully worked. The length of each curtain was 28 cubits, and the breadth of each curtain 4 cubits. All the curtains were the same size. He coupled 5 curtains to one another, and the other 5 curtains he coupled to one another. He made loops of blue on the edge of the outermost curtain of the first set. Likewise, he made them on the edge of the outermost curtain of the second set. He made 50 loops on the one curtain, and made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was in the second set. The loops were opposite one another, and made 50 claps of gold, and the couple of the curtains one to the other with clasps, so the tabernacle was a single whole. He also made curtains of goat's hair for a tent over the tabernacle. He made 11 curtains. The length of each curtain was 30 cubits, and the breadth of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains were the same size. He coupled 5 curtains by themselves and 6 curtains by themselves, and made 50 loops on the edge of the outermost curtain of the one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the other connecting curtain. And he made 50 clasps of bronze to couple the tent together, that it might be a single whole. And he made for the tent a covering of 10 ram skins and goat skins. Then he made the upright frames for the tabernacle of acacia wood. 10 cubits was the length of a frame, and a cubit and a half the breadth of each frame. Each frame had two tenons for fitting together. He did this for all the frames of the tabernacle. The frames for the tabernacle he made thus: 20 frames for the south side, and he made 40 bases of silver under 20 frames, 2 bases under one frame for its 2 tenons, and 2 bases in the next frame for its 2 tenons. For the second side of the tabernacle on the north side, he made 20 frames, and there 40 bases of silver, 2 bases under one frame, 2 bases under the next frame. For the rear of the tabernacle to westward, he made 6 frames. He made 2 frames for corners of the tabernacle in the rear, and they were separate beneath but joined at the top at the first ring. He made 2 of them this way for the 2 corners. There were 8 frames with their bases of silver, 16 bases under every frame, 2 bases. He made bars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the frames of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the frames of the other tabernacle at the rear westward. He made the middle bar to run from end to end halfway up the frames. And he overlaid the frames with gold, and made the rings of gold for holders for the bars. He overlaid the bars with gold. And he made the veil of blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen, with cherubim or angels skillfully worked into it. He made it, and for it he made 4 pillars of acacia, and overlaid them with gold. Their hooks were of gold, and then he cast for them 4 bases of silver. He also made a screen for the entrance of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen, and broidered with needlework. And his 5 pillars with their hooks, he overlaid their capitals, and their fillets were of gold, but their 5 bases were of bronze. So basically, that's just described in chapter 36. And the reason why they chose gold is because they wanted to represent God as because gold is the precious metal on earth. It's the purest metal on earth, and they want to represent God with the best piece of material on earth, which is gold. And because God's holy and pure, that's when they chose gold to build a temple with, because gold was pure. You know, it was like I said, it's a precious metal on earth. So they want to represent God with the most precious metal on earth, which is gold. But anyway, I'll be back with chapter 37 here in a minute.